Hi everyone, DM Thinker here again. This is going to be a short video giving some ideas about how to think about the value of the different coin denominations in D&D. This may help you get a better feel for how much something should be worth, or how valuable a silver piece or a gold piece should be in your world. Before we get started, it's important to remember that everyone's world and economy are going to be different. Whether you're running a module or a completely homebrew campaign, the value of items and coins in your world is driven completely by you. My points here are more about general tips to help you save time and frustration, even if your coins are worth a lot less or a lot more than mine. My thoughts here are driven by a specific problem that came up in my first campaign. Very early on, the players ended up at a tavern and wanted to buy ale. Being a new DM, I had no idea how much ale cost, but I assumed it was probably in the Dungeon Master's Guide, so I flipped it open and started trying to find it. After a couple minutes looking, I was having no luck, and having read other DM's advice to not spend more than a few minutes looking something up, I decided to just improvise. I knew the players had started at level 1 with somewhere around 20 gold pieces, so I figured an ale should probably cost something like 2 gold pieces. If you have done any DMing already, you probably already know that I was looking in the wrong book. The Player's Handbook does give a suggestion for the cost of a mug of ale, 4 copper pieces. That means I was off by a factor of 50. They probably could have bought several rounds for everyone in the tavern for 2 gold pieces. Now, in the long run, this wasn't really a big deal. It didn't stop the players from being able to buy something later on, and it didn't wreck the economy of my world. But this kind of question kept coming up throughout that and every campaign. How much does the teddy bear cost? What about that book? How much to hire a coach to take us to the next town? How much can I sell this stolen letter for? Even if you have the price of every item memorized, there are always going to be things that aren't in any of the books. And inevitably, those will be the things players want to know the cost of. Plus, it's not always convenient to use the Dungeon Master's Guide to find out how many coins every single low-level defeated enemy or passed-out guard has on them. So I needed a system to think about the value of items and the value of coins. Is 50 copper pieces a lot? What about 10 silver? Is an NPC with 5 gold rich? In every one of my campaigns, I now think about 1 copper piece being about the equivalent of $1 US. This means a mug of ale is $4 and a loaf of bread is $2 based on the prices in the Dungeon Master's Guide. That just rings true to me, inflation notwithstanding. So if a copper is $1, a silver is $10, and a gold piece is $100. If you can remember this, it makes improvising values for mundane items and treasure much easier. That store security guard might have $150 on him, so that's a gold and 5 silver. The noblewoman's locked safe could have 25,000 or more, though some might be jewelry instead of all coins. That's 250 gold in value. Now, when your players ask how much things cost, it's a lot easier to improvise a realistic answer. The teddy bear is $8, so 8 copper. This commonplace book is $30, so 3 silver. The coach ride goes 30 miles and takes a whole day and costs $700, so that's 7 gold. Even if you're off by a bit in one direction or another, you're going to be much closer than my $200 ale. If you aren't from the US or your game world has a very different economy, no problem. Just adjust accordingly. The Indian rupee is worth a bit more than a US penny, so maybe a copper is worth 100 rupee in your game. Or you can adjust everything down and say a copper is a rupee, meaning everyone will likely have a lot more coins on their person. Or maybe no one really uses copper and it's mostly silver and gold, since copper can't buy much. The point is to have a system that gives you a sense of equivalency between your campaign and the real world, so that you can more easily improvise the prices. It's also important that it be easy to remember, since part of the goal is to save you time from having to look things up. It may not work well for magic items or expensive things like houses, and I don't know how much a pig should cost. But it's a start, and if I can say 3 gold or $300 for a pig that should be more like $800 in real life, I'm sure that's close enough for our purposes. I hope this tip helps you feel more confident and saves you time from having to look up prices. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.